to finish what I started earlier, I moved and changed school by myself, age 16, fighting my mother, to go and study human sciences at Sint-Godelieve, which is a school, ironically, that holds the same name, bears the same name as her, because her name is Godelieve. It means God-loving in Flemish, because I'm from Belgium, we speak Dutch, and I grew up in the Dutch, education system. So, went to Sint-Godelieve and I studied human science. Human science encompasses psychology, sociology, and also all sciences. So biology, chemistry, and my favorite subject, physics. I almost didn't graduate because of it, by the way, because that's another story for another day. Anyway, what I learned in sociology was a very boring course, but a very enlightening course, because in sociology we learn how society works, how people shape society, and that we play roles within society, roles that are determined by the different offices that we hold in our life. So being a mother, being a daughter, being a sister, being an employee, it means that I have different roles to exercise in these different settings. But at the core, I remain who I am. However, the most interesting thing that I found out is that people go and use this reframing of oneself in different setting as a complete identity shift, and that is completely bonkers and insane. It means that people adopt an image that's to satisfy you, which is completely disconnected to the person that they are, and that is quite dangerous. Some of us, like myself, being the firstborn, being from an immigrant background, but also being emigrating to Belgium from Congo DRC, my parents wanted us to have a very strong sense of self, so that we could not forget where we came from, really be grounded in our culture, but also value ourselves, our skin, our hair as we are, because we were evolving in a society. Being in Belgium, there's only 2% black people overall, so just go figure and try to feel like you're part of something. But what I found the hard way is that instead of occupying those roles in the different offices of life that we have, some individuals really take it to a nth degree of becoming and performing what they are not. Does that mean that we can't trust what we see? We must question, being philosophical, whether the person that we have in front of us is a person whose the image that they're portraying is congruent with who they are. But what we can be satisfied of, for those of us that are authentic in our being, but also have a hope in humanity, is that we are able to also recognize when a role is performed, when a role is lived. All right, so do not give up. That's the advice. When individuals show you who they are firsthand, because we are built out of behaviors, repeatable behaviors that we conduct, we are able then to establish some patterns to understand who we have in front of us. And if the person's patterns are repeatedly associated to the person that they're trying to portray, then we can conclude that it's not a person trustworthy, and we're dealing with a wolf in sheep's clothing. That's a tip for tonight. Good night, everyone. Bye bye.